everyone. Welcome to the topic for today's class, and that is comparison of adjectives, or what we also call as degrees of comparison of adjectives. When we compare adjectives, that means we are comparing the qualities of two or more adjectives. For example, we can just find out if there are two things, which is smaller, which is greater, or if there are more than two, then which is the greatest among all of them, which is the smallest among all of them, which is the cleanest among all of them, or maybe there are no comparisons. So this is what we are going to do today, comparison of adjectives. Now, we refer to them as the first degree of comparison, that is called as the positive degree. The second degree of comparison, that is called as the comparative degree, and the third degree of comparison, that is called as the superlative degree. Now we shall be looking into all these three degrees one by one. So let us begin with the first degree that we have, and that is the positive degree. The positive degree. We use this degree when we are just talking about the quality or the presence of a quality of any singular noun or pronoun. For example, the mouse is a small animal. So which is the adjective over there? Small. I'm not comparing the mouse to any other living creature. The rose is a pretty flower. I'm just describing the quality of beauty that is there in a rose, and that is the rose is a pretty flower. So that is why we call it as the first degree, and I have written the Roman number 1 over here. That means we are just talking about one noun or a pronoun. No comparison at all. Now, moving on to the comparative degree, which we call as the second degree, that means we are comparing two things. We are comparing the qualities of two things. And when we compare two things, we compare the same qualities. For example, this road is cleaner than that road. Now I'm only talking about the cleanliness of both the roads. I cannot talk about the cleanliness of one road and the width, width, of the other road. I cannot say that this road is cleaner but that road is narrower. No. Both the qualities that we are describing are different. We are trying to compare a width, that means how broad or how narrow something is, and on the other hand we are comparing the cleanliness. So no, it is going to be only either cleanliness of the road that I am talking about, that this road is cleaner than that road, or this road is narrower than that road. So comparison between two nouns or pronouns is the comparative degree. Same thing that I have written over here, small. Now I can make the comparative as smaller. Here I just spoke about the presence of a quality, that the mouse is a small animal. Here I can compare the mouse maybe to a cat. So the mouse is smaller than the cat. So what am I comparing? I'm comparing two animals over here, the mouse or the rat and the cat. Similarly over here, I said the rose is a pretty flower. Now according to me, I can say that the rose is prettier. Now look at the word is changing, the adjective is changing. The rose is prettier than a marigold, the yellow color flower. So according to me, I feel that it is prettier. Then when I am talking about three nouns or three pronouns and more than that, then we use the superlative degree. So again, one only the presence, single, over here comparing two things, and over here three and more. Now over here again same example, maybe I am comparing the rat, I am comparing the cat, and I am comparing the dog. Three are already there, or elephant, or maybe many animals more than three. In that I can say that the mouse is the smallest among all these animals, the names that I have taken. It's not the smallest animal in the animal kingdom, but among these names that I have taken, the mouse is the smallest. Now again coming back same, I had a rose over here, I had a marigold over here, I can even go in for a zinnia over here, or I can go in for a lily over here. But for me, I feel that the rose is the prettiest. So I say the rose is the prettiest flower. So these are the three comparisons that we have. There are little rules that we use to change the positive to comparative or the comparative to superlative, or we say there are these three forms, and like over here we have small, smaller, small is the 3 degrees of comparison, pretty, prettier, prettiest, the 3 degrees of comparison. In this way we'll just go through a list of few more examples of the degrees of comparison. As you can see in the slide, the most common forms of the comparative and superlative are any adjective is given to us, we just add ER and EST to the ending. Of course, with a few changes here and there in the spelling. For example, it's big. Big will become bigger, and the superlative form is biggest. Again, here we are just talking about the presence of a quality big. The elephant is a big animal. Then, the elephant is bigger than a deer. The elephant is the biggest among the deer, the monkey, the buffalo, the hippopotamus. So there we are comparing more than 3. So very much clear in the examples that you can just see over there. Now, ER, EST. Now, when the word ends with Y, suppose it is tidy. The room is tidy. So we are just talking about a room, a single room, and that it is tidy, ending with Y. The comparative form of tidy, drop the Y, or we say leave the Y and add IER, tidier. My room is tidier than your room. And the superlative form, when we are going to compare more than 3 and above, not more than 3, 3 and above, then again drop the Y and add IEST. So it becomes tidiest. My room is the tidiest in the house. So in the house, it means there are more than 3 rooms, because I've just said that my room is tidier than yours. Okay? And when I'm comparing in all the rooms that are there in the house, 3 rooms, 4 rooms, whatever it is, so my room is the tidiest. So previous example, we had seen pretty, again ending with a Y, and the comparative form, we drop the Y and we add IER, it became prettier. Superlative, again drop the Y, added IEST, it became prettiest. Healthy, drop the Y, healthier, drop the Y again for the superlative, healthiest. Now, there are some words which do not follow this ER or IER. We are going to add more to the comparative form and most to the superlative form. Now, which are these words? Just let's have a look at them. Now, before we move into finding out how to add more to the comparative and how to add most to the superlative, there is one word, and that word is syllable. Now, what is this syllable? I'll just briefly explain syllable, although it's little technical, but I'll just throw a little light on this topic. Syllable is nothing but the vowel sound that you hear in a word. Like every word, there's a vowel in it, it will have a particular sound. For example, if we take a very simple word, if I just take BAT, there is just one vowel over here. And if I were to say bat, what do I hear? At. So which are the vowels? We have A. So with A, you can hear E. Your mouth is open, you know. Then we have E, E, E or E again with that. Then I. I sometimes also becomes E. We'll see those words. Then O, O and U. Okay. So these are the vowel sounds. So wherever we hear the vowel sound and how many times are we hearing it in a word, that is called as a syllable. For example, over here it's bat. Bat. Just close your eyes and you can hear a. So the vowel sounds. Now we have that word pretty. Pretty. Okay, when we say pretty, Y is at the end, but the sound that you hear is a vowel sound. So it's pretty. Okay, so we say we can hear the vowel sound twice, and this is what we call as a two-syllable word. This is a one-syllable word, and there's a very easy way of finding out how many syllables are there in a particular word. Now, this is your hand. Just hold your hand below your chin. Not very hard, just lightly you keep it. And the number of times your chin will move in a word, that many syllables it contains, but you have to say the word very slowly. You can try, come on, just put your hand under your chin this way, very lightly. Of course, it should touch. Now, when we say bat, how many times did it move? Bat, once. Now, let's try for pretty. Pretty, it moved twice, isn't it? Again, let's take another word. Boat. There are two vowels in it, O and A, but we get just one sound. Boat. So, one syllable. Okay. Now, let us take the word. Now we are coming on to the main, that when to use more and when to use most. Now, let us take the word beautiful. Let us take the word beautiful. We have E-A over E, A, U is also there, I is also there, U is again there. We are not going to count the number of the vowels that are there in a particular word. We will count the vowel sounds. Again, beautiful. How many times? If you would have been in front of me, I would have definitely taken the answer from you. But yes, I know at home you all are saying beautiful. Thrice. So this is a three-syllable word. Beautiful. So now we come to this rule that when a word has got three syllables, three sounds of vowels you can hear in it, we add the word more or we add the word most for the superlative. If you can remember it, well and good. Otherwise, initially you can just remember that big words that are there, they go in for more and they go in for most. So the positive form of beautiful remains is beautiful. The rose is a beautiful flower. If we talk about comparative, now we are going to use the word more over here. So it will become more beautiful. And the superlative form, when we are going to compare three words and more, it will become most beautiful. Okay, so here we are adding just the word more to the comparative, and here it is just most. Now again, important. The word important is there. How many syllables did you get? Important. Three syllables. So important becomes more important and most important. Expensive. Expensive. Three syllables. So more expensive and most expensive. And the others that are there, just see the number of syllables that are there, and accordingly you can find out whether it will just be ER or IER or more. As you keep on going through more examples and reading more, your knowledge will keep on increasing about all these words that we are talking about in the degrees of comparison. Now there are certain words or certain adjectives we can say in which there is nothing of either adding ER or IER or EST, IEST, more, most, nothing. These are what we just call as irregular words. No rules, nothing. Just change their form. For example, if it is good, the comparative is better. This cloth is better than that cloth. It's not gooder, it's not goodest, it's better and best. This cloth is the best in the shop. We are comparing it with all the other fabrics that are there in the shop. Similarly, bad, worse, worst. Okay, nothing such as badder and baddest, but it is worse when we are comparing two things. Like for example, if I say this road is bad because it's full of potholes, then someone else will say, but you should see that road. That road is worse than this. There are more potholes in there. Or someone else can say, but you should see that which is there in lane number 3. That road is the worst in the colony. So what are we doing? We are just comparing the roads, the condition of the road. So it's bad, worse and worse. Similarly, little, less, least. And as you can see, a few more examples given for you on the slide. There are some words which have no comparisons at all. They are complete in themselves. Complete again has got no comparison. For example, the word perfect. Perfect means it's unique in whatever qualities it has. So it cannot be compared with anyone. You have the word perfect or even supreme. Again the word complete. They are all unique. So there can be no comparisons with any other object. Now, then there are certain words which have got only the positive degree and the superlative degree. There is no comparative form. For example, if we talk about north, Uttar Pradesh lies in the north region of India, of course. And we can say Jammu and Kashmir lies in the northernmost region. So we are not talking about anything in the middle. Only the extremes we talk about, positive and superlative. Similarly, we can say West Bengal lies in the east and Assam or Arunachal Pradesh or any of these northeastern states that we talk about lies in the easternmost region of India. So these are just few examples that are there, which of course if you remember is always very good. Now, when you have to fill in the comparative form or the superlative form, then how do we find out? One, of course, if it is just one noun that we are talking about or one pronoun that we are talking about, then obviously it's going to be the positive form. And if it's 2, then it's comparative. It's 3 and more, it's going to be superlative. But there are certain words also. For example, very easy for comparative, you'll always see the word than. Than will always be there between the two nouns or between the two pronouns. So as soon as you see the word than, you can easily understand that yes, two things are being compared. And of course it will be given, but you will get certain examples sometimes where the two objects, the two nouns, the two pronouns are not to be directly mentioned, but still the word than will come over there. Like same thing, my room is cleaner than yours. The elephant is bigger than the deer. Okay, this is for the comparative form. And to find the superlative, it's very easy. The superlative form that is there of the adjective always has the before it. So we will say the biggest, the cleanest, the most beautiful, the prettiest, the most interesting. Okay. Now, there are certain words but which will not take than. You know, English language has got lots of exceptions and we need to get used to that. Now, there are certain words in which we will not use the word than, we say to. For example, senior. He is senior. I will not use the word than now. He is senior to me. And why do we use to instead of than? It's a rule. Nothing can be done. He is junior to me. My sister is elder to me. So these words that are there, senior, junior, elder, older. Now when to use elder, when to use older. Elder is usually used to define relationships. Like I talked about sister. Sister, brother, uncle, auntie, all of them. If they are in the relations, relatives, we use this elder. If you're talking only about age, then we say older. He is older to my brother by 3 years. Sham is younger to my sister by 4 years. So when we are talking about age, then we'll use the word older. Okay, so time now for some activity application of all these various degrees of comparison. So the first exercise that you have is very simple. You just have to fill in the blanks with the correct degree of comparison. The adjective or the word is given in the bracket and you have to see which form will fit in. Will you be using the positive form, or I should say, should you use the comparative form, or should you use the superlative form? Again, look around for those hint words. Than, the, if it is a or an, definitely it's positive. We are talking only about a single thing, but sometimes even the is used for singular object. So just let's see what you finally get as your answers. Start jotting them down. Answer time. Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak in the world. So the word the before the blank must have helped you to think that we are going to use the superlative form of the word high. A rose is dash than a cactus. So the two nouns were there, rose and cactus, and we had the word than over there. So I hope you remember that you now have to use the comparative form. Ravish is the strongest boy in the class. We are talking about all the boys in the class. Now the next one, an elephant. So we are just talking about one single noun, that's an elephant. So the positive degree, has a good memory. Again you can see the word than over there. So the comparative form of light, and that's lighter. Now this big word, interesting. How many syllables did you count? Interesting. 4 syllables. And the story of Harry Potter is very, but it had nothing to do with the syllables. Only Harry Potter we are talking about. So just the positive form, and that was interesting. This was just to remind you about the syllables. Now, Raman has the dash handwriting in the class. So we are talking about among all the students in the class, Raman has the best. So the means superlative. And now next, gold is dash than silver. The word than over there must have reminded you that we are going to use the comparative form. The word expensive is big. If you can just remember big words, let us use more expensive. Otherwise, count this way your syllables. Expensive. 3 syllables. So it's going to be more. One more activity for the day. Okay? Now, in the next one, what you have to do is, the options are given to you and you have to select the correct option. They are not necessarily all adjectives given in the bracket. We also have some other words. So hence your question states just that choose the correct word. Answers right in front of you. Mohan is dash than any other boy of the class. Taller or tallest. Now see what we are doing. We are comparing Mohan with any other boy. That means we have seen the boys one by one, and one at a time we are comparing that boy with Mohan. So we say that Mohan is taller than any other boy of his class or in the class. Then similarly, the next one I have taken similar to Mohan, only talking about Mohan. Mohan is the dash among all the boys in his class. Now what are we doing? All the boys we compared, and then we came to a conclusion that Mohan is the tallest boy in the class. Milk is a means positive degree, a complete food. We say milk is a complete food because it contains all the nutrients. Then next you had to choose between to and than, and the word senior. senior, junior, elder, older, all these will not take than, they will take to. So Mr. Shah is senior to me. Then Uttar Pradesh is the dash populous state of India. We are talking among all the states of India. So should it be more or should it be more? It should be most. So Uttar Pradesh is the most populous state of India. This dress is better of the two. Best or better. There is no given, there is no and given, there is no than given, and there is no the also given before a blank. But the word of the two means that we are comparing two things, and when we compare two things, it's always the comparative degree, and that is what I said. There are some exceptions where you will not get the word than, but still we are going to use the comparative. Then, yesterday's weather was worse than today's. There is no word such as badder. Who is dash, Superman or Batman? Who is stronger? Because we are just comparing Superman and Batman. So that's all for today for our degrees of comparison. The 3 degrees: positive, comparative and superlative. Some examples were given to you, some more. I'll just share a little table again. Where will you see them? Obviously in the link in the description box, along with some exercises for you to practice. So again, till we meet with a new topic, it's time to say goodbye. And of course, you all need to take care of yourselves. So do take care of yourself. Bye-bye.